Hello and welcome yet again to another episode of Until They Sleep. I am Daniel.
And I'm Chantel.
And we are your lovely hosts.
I think we're going to have a short conversation today because he wants to talk about Valentine's Day. And I don't really think there's much to talk about.
Valentine's Day is fair, people. It's that time of year when guys spend money on dumb stuff that is going to end up in the trash or in the belly in no time.
Yeah, that's true.
Chocolate and flowers.
Yep. Or dinner.
And dinner. Oh, man, doesn't it get packed everywhere?
We don't go out on Valentine's Day.
I said, doesn't it? I
That's
don't know.
why.
I wouldn't know.
I know. So we don't really celebrate Valentine's Day, I guess, in a very traditional way, for the same reason that we don't want to have to make reservations and wait in line or get dressed up and fancy. Aside from the fact that a lot of times we work on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, I like to think that I appreciate my loved ones every day and I show them every day and not just one day out of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it
we've
just
talked
feels
about
like,
that.
It feels like, is it a commercial holiday?
Of course.
Yeah, everybody wants to make money and pick one day to celebrate. And, they say it's a friendship and love holiday. I know in Spanish, Dia de la Amistad, which means the day of friendship. So, but I like to think that I'm still going to treat everybody the way I treat them every day.
Every other day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
And not to mention that since we've been together, there's always been kids around, right? Because you had your daughters when we got together and their mom would go off and give us the kids for Valentine's.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So we would have...
We were the babysitters.
We were the babysitters, yeah. So
Yeah.
we almost always had the girls with us
But
for Valentine's Day.
one thing I do like about that, like in a weird way, right? I always kind of laugh about this one when it comes to Valentine's, but have you ever noticed that we always ended up going to eat Thai?
We did.
Yeah.
We always ended up at Thai food.
Because
Because it was
nobody
empty.
goes. It is freaking delicious.
Nobody
It's spicy.
wanted to eat Thai food for Valentine's, so we always ended up at the Thai food place.
You know probably why they don't go eat Thai?
Why?
Because they know they're going to be in the bathroom later on when they're at home the whole time.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
And the guys are like, I want to get some. I don't want to take you to Thai food.
No. It's so good. And we love Thai food, so it was like a no-brainer for us.
Yeah,
right?
there was this little
like a little hole in the wall
over
place
by,
by where we used to live in La Mesa.
yeah, Lake Murray over there area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love that place.
Yeah, I
wonder
did
if it's
too.
still there.
I don't know, but it was
But it was
delicious.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It was really good.
So yeah, and I think we kept that alive for a couple of
We
years.
did. I think we did it every year as long as we lived in the area.
Or
Yeah.
we tried other ones too. I mean, but with the change of schedules and
Yeah.
and more kids and everything, and it does get ridiculous. Like it is like a lot of traffic, and vendors and everywhere trying to sell
Everyone's, yeah.
plushes and flowers and whatever and balloons and
And
everybody's going out on a date
And for me, I don't like any of those typical Valentine's things. So he's never had to buy me flowers and chocolates and jewelry. I mean, he has done some of that, but he's never had to. I've never expected it.
I mean, I'm still waiting. I mean, why can I get flowers?
I
mean,
gave
why
you
can
a
you
rose.
take me out to eat? Huh?
I gave you
Am I
a
not pretty enough
rose.
for you? Do I not do enough for
I
you?
gave you a rose, one that never dies.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
So he said that I was the one because I gave him a rose, and he always thought, why can't guys get roses? And if there was ever a girl who gave him a rose, he knew that she was going to be the one.
Yep, true.
And I thought it was so funny. It's cute, it's sweet, and it's hilarious.
Ah.
So I gave him a rose, not knowing any of this. I gave him a plush rose.
Go ahead, laugh at me.
And that was sufficient. Like, that's all he ever wanted, was to be given a rose. And I gave him one that'll never die.
Deep down inside, I'm a romantic. I'm sorry.
Well, when I met you, you were a romantic.
And
then it
that's
went
why
away.
we're gonna make fun of it and have some fun later on with that stuff.
With Valentine's.
Yeah, Valentine's. Yeah, I want to have a draft. I want to pick your 3 most like romantic, sweet, corny movies. Like, I
Okay.
wanna
Are we
do that later on.
just picking movies? We're not going to discuss them because I know we can go off on tangents
Oh yeah,
about
why
things.
not? Why not?
Okay.
Like why? I mean, and then maybe you guys will see like where we stand in the relationship. You know, like who's more of
A romantic.
a romantic or like
Or
yeah,
what level of romantic we are.
yeah, I guess so. How we see life, I guess. It's a good insight, right? Like psychoanalyzing it.
I don't know because I think the movies that I liked were from when I was younger. And even though I still love those movies now, I don't know.
So if they were from when you were younger, it kind of
It-
lets you know like what you expected when you became a grown up, right?
Well, it's, I
You're
guess.
Prince Charming.
Okay, so who's going first?
I don't know, not yet. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet?
We're not there yet. I guess why not? I mean, let's go into it, right? I mean,
Okay.
we're already
Well,
kind of
you
talking
talked
about it, right?
so I
Okay,
figured.
so then here's the rules. All right, we don't want to take a long time. I mean, we probably will because, like you said, we like to talk a lot. So let's do 3 movies.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go. Yeah, it's only the 2 of us, so I guess we'll take turns. You'll pick one, your reason why, and we'll start from 3 to 1. We'll
From
rank them
the
like that.
smallest, okay, the least favorite of the 3. Okay.
Yeah, make it simple, right?
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, that's fine.
I like that, right?
Okay.
So then, ladies first. Oh, am I offending people for
No,
assuming you're...
I'm a lady, and you know I'm a lady, a female.
I'm having fun here.
Don't you
shut
go
it.
there with me. All right, I guess my
It's a trigger
number
word.
3
Okay, number 3.
would be, I guess I really enjoy 50 First Dates.
Oh, that's a good one.
I just think it's a funny movie, and it's sweet that he gave up everything to make her fall in love with him every day.
That is a sweet movie, actually, because I actually...
Even our kids like that movie.
Yeah, because, I mean, what guy is going to try every single day to make someone fall in love with them again?
Yeah, it's like definitely a fairy tale.
Yeah, and it's like having the patience too to start from scratch and trying to explain it. Like even at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, you know they
If
have
you've never seen it.
they have a kid and everything, and you know he has that video. Yeah, that is a nice one. Actually, ooh, that's gonna be tough to beat.
I think that's a
good
really
one.
sweet movie. It's very romantic in that sense, and I don't know. Our kids really enjoy watching. We like watching it as a family.
Well, we enjoy watching Adam Sandler
In
movies.
general, yes.
and then him and Drew Barrymore have made 3 great movies that I mean we have enjoyed the whole family.
Yeah,
as
and
a
they're all
whole.
romances.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's 2 other ones that they made that are also romantic. So I don't know if they'll make the list
Well,
since you picked
no.
that one first. But
No,
yeah,
they're not.
everybody
They're not
does.
romances. All our kids.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Yeah, I remember when it came out, it was like a family movie. We would like always sit down and watch it, even
Yeah.
if it's now.
Because
If it
he's
pops
like
up.
goofy and she's like sweet, and he just, at his weird, awkward way, he makes her fall in love with him, and that's beautiful.
Is that what you want? You want me to make you fall in love
Is
with
that
me
not
every
what
day?
you did?
Every day though,
You try.
for the rest of our lives.
I mean, as long as we're not arguing
Well,
or
I
disagreeing
failed.
on something. But you do tell me you love me every day. There's not a day that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
So
and I tell you every day
more than words.
because
More than words.
yeah, because I guess on that note, I tell you every day because I don't know what might happen. I don't know if I'll get a chance to say it again.
Yeah.
So I don't want any doubts, right?
Yeah.
So then I guess it kind of makes it easy for me to pick my number 3. I kind of want to say this movie, but I think there was another one. There was another movie that, oh man, this is a tough one. I got to narrow it to 3 of them, huh? It's on the top of my head right now.
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm going to say because of that and because of what I just said, I'm going to have to go on a limb and say P.S. I Love You with Gerard Butler.
Oh my gosh, that's such a sad movie.
Yeah, but, you know, it's like,
It's beautiful.
yeah, he was dying and he knew and he wrote her letters and got everybody together and
Oh man, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
yeah, I would say because we never know, right? We never know, so we kind of have to let our loved ones know that, you know, what they mean to us and
Yeah.
and what we're willing to do for them, you know. So on that note, and we were talking about that, and you said, "Oh, well, you tell me every day," and I tell you and the kids, I always, no matter how mad I am or how upset I am, I try to give you guys a hug or a kiss and tell you I love you because shit happens, something can happen on my way to work or something can happen on my way home
Or to us.
yeah. So I don't want to have the doubt that I never got to let you guys know that I loved you. You guys would never question that. So yeah, on that aspect, that's the true love of a guy. Like that's how much he loved her, that he planned everything, knew what she liked, what she needed, knew her friends, like coordinated everything. I think I've only seen that movie once, but it hit that hard.
It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
That is truly a beautiful movie.
So that's my number 3.
All right. I think you got me beat already.
Mm.
All right. My number 2 is Princess Bride.
That's a good one.
But you used to not help with this because, I mean, I guess you did help with this because you used to always tell me as you wish. Anytime I wanted something or anything, you say, as you wish.
Yeah.
Like, you know this movie.
It's a great movie. They made me watch that movie at school my whole life.
I don't know. I've never seen that at school.
Yeah, no, my teachers, every time there was like end of school or they had a great whatever, summer break or
they'd make you watch Princess Bride.
There was a couple movies that they would play, and that was always one of them.
That's hilarious. But I mean, I guess same thing. It's like that forever love. I mean, and I'm not even talking about her. Like, I guess she was depressed and super sad. Okay, sorry, spoiler if you've never seen Princess Bride.
What is wrong with you?
I know people who've never seen it, but it's the fact that she's depressed and she's lost her one true love, and now she has to move on with her life, and she marries someone years later, or is betrothed to someone years later, and he comes back, but he's a completely different person.
Wow, that never happened.
It sounds so familiar.
Never heard of such a thing.
That's exactly what happened to you. Kind of, sort of. He came back. I guess it does ring a little bit for us because the guy I knew in high school, the guy who I left, right? Because I'm the one who left. And you also left in your own way, right? When you joined the military. You came back different. You came back a different person. And then when we went our separate ways in different relationships, you came back even more different. But you still loved me. You were like, do you really love me? Is it true love? You didn't wait for me, blah, blah, blah. It's like total Princess Bride thing.
I when I first saw that movie, it was more like me being a little boy and seeing Andre the Giant,
Oh, for you, it was Andre the Giant.
I was like, oh, Andre the Giant is on this. I want to watch this.
and then
then
had
I was
sword
like,
fighting.
oh, it's the guy from the Wonder Years. Cool. And I was like, what does that guy have a mustache like I do? I like this Spaniard.
So nothing to do with the romance. Everything to do with the cool fight scenes and
I mean, I still get mad at Buttercup, like
yeah, because she
boo, boo.
And marriage is what brings us here to.
I like your choices. I have to admit, I'm a little jelly because you're picking like cute, like memorable, funny movies.
Well,
and I went with like depressed, like
but funny. I don't know. I think it's because it's things we can watch with the kids. Like to this day, all our kids know what Princess Bride and how old is that movie, and they love it. They love Princess Bride.
Yeah, and I mean, you got a couple collectibles too for that.
I do. You got me Wesley. You found a statue of him, and I have that. But you haven't found Buttercup.
No. And then I got you the McFarlane one too.
Yeah. And then isn't there a board game?
The board game. Yeah.
That the eldest got me a board game. Yeah, that is a collectible. I have not opened it, and I will never open it.
We were all waiting for that one. That's a game board, and you're not going to open it.
I'm not going to open it.
So see that even our
20-something-year-old, she knows.
She even knows. Like that's how much I love that movie. So yeah, I would have been surprised if we wouldn't have picked that one for sure. Definitely, I would have been surprised.
Okay.
Man, I feel horrible. I'm trying now in the back of my head. I'm trying to think of a funny movie. I'm just gonna be.
No, but it's what you feel are romantic. So what's your number 2?
Oh, that's easy. I'm gonna go kind of like also touching with us subject. That reminds me, And funnily enough, it has the same actor that from the previous movie.
Okay.
And it's guaranteed, guys, to get you some if you watch this movie.
Okay.
It's simple. I mean, I love it. My son loves it. The music is awesome in it. It's still going on Broadway. It's a big old thing for me, hands down. I think one of the most romantic and most painful movies I've seen in a while is The Phantom of the Opera.
The Gerard Butler one.
Yeah, I just really. I mean, I never cared for The Phantom. I always thought it was like dumb, and why do people make such a big deal out of this thing? Like, ew, freaking opera, stupid, you know. Ugh. And then one day, I saw that movie, and I was like, damn, I think I like musicals. Like, damn, I think I like this movie.
But his pain, so his portrayal of the Phantom, right? Because he's not, the original Phantom is scary, right? And the original story, the original
Yeah, I remember
movies,
watching the original one.
he's
Yeah.
scary. He's not beautiful in any way. It's different. So this portrayal of the Phantom, it is heart-wrenching. It is his pain in through the music and his love for her.
Yeah.
And I love his portrayal of it. And I used to think, like, if I was Christine, I would have totally stayed with him. And I actually saw Phantom of the Opera in the theater with my parents and some family friends when I was like 14. And in
I
LA.
saw it way later.
In LA. So
Yeah,
I saw one of the original plays.
Yeah, I saw it.
It was
way
beautiful.
later. I think I saw it. I can't recall, but it was way later in my life.
Yeah. No, I was exposed to family opera very young.
But yeah, like I said, I knew a lot of people that liked it, and I think the only reason why I watched is because I was like, oh, I like this guy. Like, he's a good actor. I've enjoyed his movies, you know, like. And I remember him from Dracula 2000, and I remember all the girls were like dying over him and stuff.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, he was a Phantom. I was like, man, I'm gonna watch this. And I'm just curious, you know. And then I watched it, and I was like, wow, to love somebody so much, and they don't even know you exist and you're alive, you know, and they go off with someone else, and the heartache and the heartbreak, but deep down inside later on, she's kind of like torn, like, oh, this and that, and you know, and then he sacrifices, yeah, and then the whole Spanish thing, like I like flamenco, so that whole
Or the Masker.
Don
Oh, not
Juan.
the Don Juan. Yeah,
that,
the play.
that whole thing right there, I was like, yeah, that mask, that skull.
Now we've seen part 2, right, of Phantom
Yeah.
of the Opera, and what do you think is that still a good extension of the Phantom story, or
I think so, yeah, because
for those who haven't seen it, spoiler?
because you wonder, like there was like a connection, there was like scenes, you know, when he takes her to his dungeon and the whole conversation, and she takes the mask off, and then later on when he does it again, so it lets you know that yeah, whatever you wondered, oh, what if this, what if that, well, it's no longer a what if.
Yeah,
And-
the second part
Yeah.
confirms what happened.
Yeah, so that was a good one. I mean, I had another movie. I just can't remember for the life of me. What was it? I was trying to change it up. I didn't want to go with back-to-back Gerard Butlers, but
Hey, he's done some good romance, so
it's just funny because of the things that you said have led me to pick two of his movies. You
yeah.
know, like,
Well, and interestingly enough, what you're referencing and one of the movies he did leads me to my number one.
ooh,
And my number one, since I was like 12 and to this day, is Bram Stoker's Dracula.
ooh. Yes, people, that is romantic.
People might think it's not, but I love that
Like
movie.
romantic in which way? Romantic in the way of Dracula being in love with Nina, or the girl that looked like Nina, or that Keanu doing what he has to do for her.
I guess it's different levels of it. It is definitely the fact that love is eternal, like true love, that soulmate, right? Because his wife dies and she was his world. And because of her death, he forsakes his God for not protecting her, for not keeping her safe. And in that, in his punishment, I guess, he is cursed to live forever, and he finds her again.
Yeah, I still think it's one of the best acting on that one when she dies and he gets back. That whole scene you just went
Yeah.
to, you
The
can
pain,
tell
again,
the
the
pain.
pain.
Yeah, it was so freaking real. I remember watching that. I actually saw it in the theaters too as a kid, and I felt the pain. Like I was like, I know that, but he took me. Gary Oldman
He
to
is
me,
a phenomenal actor.
yeah. From that movie on, I was like, I started watching his movies because of his performance on that. Because for me to just touch on a personal matter, like the pain what he went to when she was
He
dead,
lost
and
his
he was like,
wife.
it took me to the pain to how I felt that I boxed when my mom died, so I could identify with that and
And that hate.
towards the religion, towards the promise, like I was doing your work, like they told me that for you, and this is how you repay me. It was, whoo. Don't get me started.
Well, and then he finds her again, right after all these millennia. He finds her again. Her spirit is reincarnated, and he finds her again. Oh man, that just reminded me of another movie. Dang it!
Dark Shadows?
No, I should have had that in my top 3. Maybe we can do 4. But the Keanu Reeves portion, that he loved Mina so much that he was, like you said, willing to do whatever and allowed her to do what she needed, the role she needed to play in the whole thing. He allowed her to do it without judgment, without forsaking her as his love, So there's 2 different levels of love there. And then even Dracula not wanting to forsake her to eternal death.
Yeah, that's
so those are my top 3,
deep.
But it all did just remind me of another movie that.
Okay, so a notable mention. What is it? I'm curious.
Oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of it. Do your number 1. So, oh no, wait.
My number 1. I don't know if people would actually consider it romantic, but I'm gonna go on a limb. It's a series of movies. It's a whole saga. Okay, it's the guy that was my role model as how to be a father and everything. Somebody that I kind of look up to till this day is one of my favorite actors. It's easy to say. For me, it's Rocky. The whole Rocky saga. When I've said this to other people get mad at me. Like there's little arguments, but man, like what him and Adrian had, to me, that's like beautiful. That's like what a relationship should be like. It's that level. I don't know. It's like a marriage. They're like they meet. He's trying to get to know her. Everything he goes to get her attention, to go out with her. Then marriage, the fights with marriage and giving up, and like he wouldn't have been what he was if it wasn't for her, because she kind of pushed him. But then later on, she was kind of bringing him down, and he was like, "I'm gonna prove you wrong." And then later on, you see him trying to go on with life without her in it no more, and then still his love for her. He still shows up, sits there at her grave and talks to her and reads the newspaper, and like that's like such a beautiful thing to me. It's like, man, that's how true love is supposed to be. That's how when I just thought that was beautiful. I was like, man, that's love right there.
So the love is his portrayal as what a husband's supposed to be, what a father's supposed to be, and that being the most important thing.
Yeah, and he like came from nothing, and part of who he became. I mean, part of it was his hard work, but the other one was help. It was like she was a crutch. She was the one that helped him. That guided him. That like taught him how to read so that people wouldn't laugh at him during commercials. Or it's just the support that your significant other gives you.
Yeah.
The journey, it's not by yourself, and I love that scene when they're like celebrating their anniversary and he shows up with that cake and they're like wearing boxing gloves, and he's like, oh, it hasn't been that rough. It's like, oh, it has its moments. Like all marriages have ups and downs and fights, and most people automatically after a couple fights or it gets rough to like, hey, I'm done, I want a divorce.
Yeah.
And back then they were like, no matter what, it's we all have hiccups, got to get up and keep them going. So for me, Rocky is my number 1.
Rocky's your number 1. All the Rockies.
I know people won't see it that way, but for me, it's
Well,
Rocky.
I mean, I think it's true though, because you've always told me that's what Rocky was for you. Like it was the ultimate love story because of how he was.
Yeah, love for his family, love for his wife, love for his craft, love for his trainer, love for his city. You look like,
I found the movie.
what is it?
It's called Dead Again.
What? That movie?
Yes. So it's about
Is it Bruce Willis?
no, it's not with Bruce Willis. No. You're thinking Death Becomes Her.
Oh,
No. Dead Again.
yeah, that sounds so
It's
familiar.
about, I don't know if anybody's ever seen this movie. I guess when I think about this a little harder, it's not a full-on romance, but I thought it had a romantic air to it that I really liked for some reason growing up.
It sounds familiar, but I don't even know who's in
Okay,
this right
it's
now.
with
I'm
Emma
thinking-
Thompson.
Okay, never mind.
It's with Emma Thompson, Kenneth Branagh. And so Kenneth Branagh is a detective, and Emma Thompson plays a lady who has amnesia. And he's trying to help her figure out who she is. And they end up ultimately going into like hypnotic therapy to help her remember who she was. And it turns out that she and the detective in a past life were husband and wife.
Oh, you told me about this movie before.
Yes, and they were husband and wife in past life, but they were switched. He was the wife and she was the husband. And he was a famous pianist, and she was murdered, and he was blamed for her murder. Anyways, if you want to watch this movie, I can't tell more.
Okay, so in the beginning, when you started talking about it, I was like, they made movies like this already. And I was thinking about the one with Sandra Bullock pretends to be like the fiance of some guy that had an accident, like amnesia. It made me think about that. But it also made me think about another movie that I couldn't remember it. It was the same thing about somebody having amnesia. And I was thinking, it was that Channing Tatum movie.
Okay. Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
a true
yeah.
story. That
Okay.
was a good one. I should have. That could have been a notable one. That was a vow. But now you're going to another level. You're going to past life. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what Dracula is too.
Yeah.
Think about it. Bram Stoker's Dracula is also about past life love, like that eternal love that always connected. And this Dead Again one it's a really random movie that I saw as a teenager, and it's rarely played. It's hard to find. I love this movie.
Okay, I might check that one out. I know you told me about it.
I've told you
before.
about this before, and I think if you see it, you might be, oh yeah, I've kind of seen, or maybe you've seen pieces of it. It's not for everybody.
Go ahead. Yeah, I just remember what my third movie was going to be.
Oh, okay.
But
Your
I
notable
forgot about
mention?
it. Yeah, my notable mention for me, and it's not going to be the Notebook people. I know there's probably going to be somebody out there upset that, oh, you not pick the Notebook. That was so great. Like, yeah, it's
It's a
iconic,
beautiful
whatever.
movie.
I mean, I feel like that might be my future story here. When,
Yeah, it's because he says I have a horrible memory.
but the Notebook's a good notable mention, I guess.
But
guess
what's
this
your
one-
notable mention?
The one that was going to be number 3 for me that I forgot all about. So here it is. It's the Lake House
That's a pretty movie.
with Keanu and Sandra Bullock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to have a Keanu movie in there too. You can't take Keanu away from me.
Well, that is a pretty movie. But why do you like that movie?
Hey, we're just going notable, okay?
It's just notable mention.
I actually I enjoyed it because it was dramatic. It was like, whoa, like wait, what's going on? Like, how was this damn mailbox?
Yeah.
You know, from the future going to the past, and how does it correlate, and what's gonna happen, and when they're gonna meet, and then you know that bus accident and stuff like that, and it's something that you feel like this person is like the one that we have so much in common, we get along, but yet the destiny
Is not there.
it's not there, you know. So for some people that think that, oh, somewhere out there is my my soulmate. Yeah, my true mate.
That doesn't mean you'll ever get to meet them.
And yeah, Destiny's cruel, and it might just play a joke on you.
Yeah.
I mean, they changed the future, but still, do they?
I don't remember. We'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, but yeah, that would have been it for me.
Okay.
All right, so there's some movies right there, I guess, corny enough to watch from Valentine's Day with your loved one or your future loved one, or
by yourself, because there's nobody around just to remind you how much love sucks. Sometimes.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, man, I'm happy. Thanks for reminding me why I want to be alone. Said no one ever.
I don't know. Our kids seem to think they never want to be in love. But they're kids. I know they don't know anything.
Do we fight that much that it scares them? And they're like, oh my God, is this what marriage is like? I don't want to do this. Because I know that's how it was for me when I used to see my brother. Every time I actually thought about family or being married, I was like, can I spend the weekend at your house? And then I was just him and his wife. I was like, thank you.
For reminding you.
Reminding me time for a breakup.
Well, I guess for me, I did feel at one point in my life that I never wanted to be in love because watching my parents go through their divorce, right? It's kind of like, why in the world would I want to be in a relationship if it's just going to end up in divorce? And I do have one already under my belt, and as do you. So
I was married? I don't recall being married. My bank account recalls, but I don't.
Anyways, so those are our movies for Valentine's, or I guess romantic movies that we like or we enjoy.
Yeah.
And I mean, but for Valentine's Day, I mean, again, we don't really celebrate.
Because we do it every day.
Because
I like to think
it is important to show the people you love that you love them every day.
I mean, I am guilty about one thing. I'll admit this. When it comes to the girls for Valentine's, and I'm talking about all.
All his daughters. Yeah,
I'll always try to do something.
Yeah, he always brings them flowers,
candy or a flower or everything. Right?
Why do you do that?
Because I'm ruining for their future.
Whoever they're.
I'd be like, you know what? My dad used to bring me flowers, and they say, "Why can't you bring me flowers? He used to take me out to eat too. Got me chocolates. You better step up your game, punk."
Oh, that's horrible.
And then when they're like, suegro, I just can't. It's like, I know. I did that on purpose.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
Ain't no other man ever going to love them as much as their dads.
It's true. So. Just like I don't know any woman's ever going to love a boy or her, like as much as his mother.
Yeah. That's the truth of love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I do like to do little things for the girls, but I mean, at the same time, you kind of ruined that for me because you were like with the whole, you put that in my mind. Like you always talk about how much your father-daughter dates meant to you. So
yeah, but that was just part of, my dad and I, we didn't always do things together, but it was also part of our church, right? The church group we belonged to, they're big on family, right? And
yeah. So like you said, like we don't do a lot for Thanksgiving. For Valentine's Day. It's the same thing. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for this. I don't think you love me. Think you haven't walked out yet. Taking half my shit.
Yes, Valentine's Day. We're not at Thanksgiving yet.
Okay. So it's kind of one of those things where like I guess I do that with the girls because I kind of hope that one day some guy will do the same things for them, and so they have that standard. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's kind of one of those. I kind of try to do it with you, but like you said, we're not like that. No, we're not like that because I mean, I agree with you on it. We both had this conversation. Maybe that was another thing that we were like, man, maybe we should be together because we had a conversation about Valentine's one time, and we we're like. Oh, it's so stupid. You got to show people that you love them. It's one day out of the whole year. Why don't you do it all the other time?
Yeah.
Like, or was it? Well, I think you said something like, "You want to show me you love me? Like, wash the dishes."
Yeah. Yes. Well, and that's why I love that song more than words, right?
Yeah.
So
the actions.
Show me you love me. Like, don't just tell me you love me. Prove to me that you love me. Not by like being sexy or anything like that.
I used to think that song was more like "Give It Up." Like,
and maybe that's the proper interpretation.
It's not. I looked it up.
You looked it up. I never interpreted it that way.
Yeah, for me it was more like, yeah, I love you, but show me you love me.
Yeah.
Like,
So
show
I
me.
never took it that way. To me, it was by your actions, show me that you love me.
And that's pretty much what it is. Sometimes
More than words.
Yeah.
So and that is one of my most favorite
love,
songs.
affection,
Yeah.
things that you do. So yeah. So that's the whole.
That's a little rant on Valentine's Day, I guess.
Yeah. It's. I mean, if it makes you happy and it saves your marriage and your relationship, and it's one night that you get to go out on a date and you can get a babysitter, then by all means, I just think that you do it every day.
Yeah, every day. And it's the same thing with not even just Valentine's Day, but when we talk about giving people flowers in death versus giving them flowers in life.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, appreciate the people in your life every day. Give the women in your life. Send your mother flowers just because. Send your wife flowers just because, if she's into that.
Oh, no, I'm giving you guys a heads up. When Mother's Day is around the corner, get ready for my I'm gonna
His
go
rant.
off. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna let you guys know what I think about Mother's Day.
Beware.
It's not a bad thing.
Beware.
It's not a bad
It's
thing.
it's going to come from your point of view. So.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so point being that we should appreciate those in our life every day, not just on a specific day set by someone at some time.
And people, before you guys start thinking that I hate Valentine's because I probably never got cards or candies as a kid, no, that never happened. I got plenty of candies and lollipops and stuff like that, okay?
But we're not saying we hate Valentine's Day. We're just saying that you need to appreciate those in your life every other day, not just on that day. Ultimately.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just you said every other day. I was like, no, it should be every day.
Well, I meant like every other day of the year.
I know.
So that's all I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how I see it. That's my point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, most definitely spoil your daughters.
So you can ruin them for
Ruin
whatever
them for
man's
the
going
guy.
to come in
Yeah.
their life. So what do we do with the boys?
Oh no, that's off the air.
No, I mean like
It's a joke.
you have to, by example, you're showing them that that's how they should behave.
Oh no, most definitely. I mean, we're their example, right? So
Yeah.
So like I was saying, like the girls see how I treat you, how I act with you. So that's an example of like that's how I want my future partner to be like with me. I want my husband to open the door for me, even though we've been married for 17 years, or still open the door for me, or get up from the table, or pull my chair at the restaurant, even though we have 4 kids. Like I still do all those things.
Yeah.
I should.
And you're
use the
teaching
text.
the boys that that's how a
And
man
exactly
should
that's
be.
where I'm going. I'm still being a gentleman. Where nowadays a lot of men don't do none of that stuff. I mean, how many times do we see that? Even our boys, right? Like, so I've been their example, right? And if they've missed something, I even let them know. We go to the restaurants, like hold the door, and people are like, "Oh, thank you, lonely young man. Oh, well mannered,
Yeah, it's true.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir. Come on in. Sir,
Yeah.
ma'am, please have my chair. It's like you don't need to stand. I mean, nowadays,
It's rare.
yeah, it's rare. So imagine
Manners, gosh.
manners. Yeah,
Who needs them?
yeah. I mean, I know, call me old fashioned on that one, but I mean, even when I asked you to marry me and everything, I still had the conversation with your dad. I still
You
asked
did.
for a blessing. I'm not a religious person, and I still asked for a blessing.
Yeah, you
You
did.
know, conversation between father and soon to be son-in-law, and because guess what? Now I have daughters, so I hope one day they give me the same respect. I mean,
Unless they decide to elope.
I guess somebody's dying that day. and not really, just like metaphorically, people.
Yes, like in his life.
Yeah.
They'd be cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead to me. Dead. D-E-D.
D dead. So that's our little rant on Valentine's. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. And we hope that you have a good Valentine's.
Yes.
Even if it's just at home cooking, watching Lady in the Tramp, or the spaghetti scene.
Okay.
Definitely, if you don't celebrate it, you want to do something hit up the Thai restaurants. They're
empty.
they're empty.
Yes. And it's delicious.
And it's delicious. Yes. Yeah. And may you have a good time with your loved ones. Enjoy this.
And don't forget to appreciate them every day.
Every day. Every day, let them know that you love them. And that they mean something to you. So, yeah, most definitely. Well, thank you for joining us. And it's been a pleasure again, my dear. Nice to see your lovely smiling face. Love you too.
All right.
All right, guys.
You guys take care. Bye.
Peace.